All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live. Today I have a returning guest. It's Gbonikz Bits. His information's in the notes section. Say hello, Gbonikz.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a great one out there.
All right. And the reason I've asked Gbonikz to come back is, he's since it's the first time I had you on your show, which I think it was almost how long has it been? Like 3 months?
Um, Somewhere around there. I think I got it in.
About 3 months, maybe less than that, maybe only 2 months. But a lot has happened during that time, and so I wanted you to come back and tell us from the last time we did our show together, our interview with you. What's changed? I know a lot has changed, and circumstances has changed for you. You changed kind of stances and your optimism. Tell us your story about that.
I mean, yeah, I was all gung ho on the mining, the cloud mining, but after a while, I noticed that that's not the wisest way to step into the cryptocurrency game. If you're thinking about mining or anything like that, it's better to just directly invest into the coins. Because I did some numbers, and yeah, I'm in a position a lot lower than I should be, and that's because of the way I stepped into the cryptocurrency space thinking about mining. So to anybody who is thinking about mining, I suggest you do your diligence and check out what it is that you're getting into. So yeah, basically I noticed with cloud mining services that you end up getting less satoshis. You'll probably end up getting a higher dollar value than what you had originally put in, but you'll get a lower satoshi count, and that's kind of against investing. That's kind of it's a direct divestment. So it's literally a divestment on your part against just having invested on the coins.
Well, it is when the price is going up. In your case, it would have been just a lot easier since you already bought the coins, I believe, and you basically sent your coins to Genesis Mining
I
in
don't think
anticipation of getting more coins.
I don't think it has anything to do with the price variations because the satoshis are still equivalent to the overall value of the Bitcoin. So like I don't think the variations really have anything to do with it.
Well, I kind of think there is, because if the price goes up, it kind
Your
of becomes
Satoshi
harder.
value, the Satoshi value would be the same. Like you're still going to be creating around the same amount of Satoshis, given how much terahash you have. So it doesn't really, at that point, it doesn't really have to do with the variation of the price of Bitcoin itself.
Okay, so in the amount of satoshis you're getting, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
amount of bitcoins.
The Satoshis have to do with how much terahash you have or whatever, mega hash, whatever it is that you may be mining. But that's with, yeah, you don't
Okay,
really have direct control over that if you're cloud mining. If you're cloud mining, they have control over that. So it's like mining on your own is the better option overall. But yeah,
right. Well, having your own miner, I mean,
yeah,
you'll probably have to point to a pool or something, or you could be mining, yourself. It depends on the coin that you're you're mining. So you've gone from cloud mining to and you were mining with Genesis mining Genesis mining. What 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 got you involved in Genesis mining? Who how did you first? Who did you see? It's probably a YouTube video that you saw,
yeah,
and who
yeah.
was it?
I mean, I started watching Trevon and Craig. Like those were the first people that I bumped into, and they were promoting it like if it was something that was like giving them good returns, good profits, and I was like into the whole mining mind state. Like I want to mine just to see how this shit is. Like there's people creating their own money. How am I not gonna get in on this? So I tried cloud mining because to me in my head I was like, hey, I don't have to have none of the gear, none of the heat. none of the sucking up electricity. Sounds like a good deal.
Okay. And so when you first when you first got into you started looking on YouTube, and Trayvon James and Craig Grant was probably the first when you did a search for Bitcoin or mining, and there some reason they're very popular, even though I really doubt they know what they're talking about most of the time. But that's how you got in,
They're
and
consistent. I mean, the algorithm, if you're consistent, it works for you. They do YouTube 9 to 5 type stuff. So
oh, so do you think they basically play the algorithm to be like on the top of the
yeah,
search engine?
yeah, pretty much. Plus they do it daily, so it's like yeah, they're just playing the numbers. A lot of new crypto YouTubers have come up, like a lot of
Okay.
new crypto YouTubers, and it's actually it worries me because a lot of them that have, like, they're building an audience, they're building it towards like these websites that are just taking people's Bitcoin, and it's like, no, don't do that. Don't relinquish your Bitcoin. Just hold your Bitcoin. Like, cloud mining is not, to me, I didn't see it as some website that was just taking my Bitcoin. I saw it as an investment, strategy, because I was getting daily Bitcoin back. But I should have just kept the Bitcoin. I would have more Bitcoin right now.
Right. And when did you start realizing it? Because I talked to you about it before, and at the time when I first talked to you about it, you were kind of very confident. You were very sure you were going to
I'm
get 90
still,
at the time
I'm still,
$90,000.
I'm
Yeah.
still confident that I'm gonna get the dollar value back. I'm still confident that I'm gonna get more dollar value than what I actually put in. That I'm still confident of.
Okay. Okay. And then
What I'm not confident is that I'm gonna get the Satoshi value.
okay.
That
Yeah.
so what I was thinking is I'm gonna put in these 20 odd Bitcoins and I'm gonna get 25. So the deal that I'm thinking now is I put these 20 odd Bitcoins and I'm gonna get like 12. But it's gonna be worth more in dollar terms.
Right. Right. Because the price has gone up by then.
Exactly. The price has gone up. And the way it's looking, I believe the price will keep on going up. There is more cryptocurrency YouTubers popping up every single day and they're building followings. There's even a dude, Michael Crypto. I don't know. That's one of the dudes that's like, it worries me kind of because he's promoting control finance, USI tech, all of that crazy stuff. Yeah, they're paying for ads now. This is going to pick up momentum.
When you say they're paying for ads, are you saying they're paying to advertise themselves, or
On YouTube right now, like Ty Lopez.
okay? All
You
right.
know who you know who Ty Lopez is, right?
Unfortunately, it doesn't show up in my feed, but if he's paying for his YouTube to be shown up, it might. It probably will soon. Is he
Exactly.
another YouTuber, recent YouTuber building up an audience?
Yes, and he's teaching people about crypto. At the same time, he's also promoting USI Tech, Control Finance, Big Connect, which you can't withdraw from right now.
Right,
All,
right.
all, all these other things. And don't get me wrong, if BitConnect works, it's a great tool for people because people need it. Loaning is how debt is created, and debt creates wealth. Sadly, as that is.
Well, I don't know if debt really creates wealth. I think debt creates wealth for somebody else, because in order for you to be in debt, you have to, you know, someone has to give you your put you in debt, and then you got to pay that off. And depending on how it's structured, technically you could be paying that off forever, and making somebody else rich. And unfortunately, I think a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
people
why I
get
said
into.
that's why I said it's sad that it works that way. It does work that way as far as banks go with big ticket items or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not the one who created it. I just see what I see, and that's how it works.
yeah, yeah. If you ever, that's one of the reasons why I got into Bitcoin, was to kind of get out of that.
Yeah,
Um, it's not that money's really that evil, because you can always choose not to do it. You know, you could choose not to participate in the system that keeps you working in a way. Not that it forces you, but it's set up in a way that um, you always have to be working in order to generate income. And if you take on debt, that's even worse. Let alone the inflation that having money causes, because
People don't understand that it's worse. people
it's worse.
people are all gung ho for some debt. What?
Yeah.
I gotta lease that car. Oh man, that's perfect. Only $300 a month. Oh, that's wonderful.
Well,
Not not understanding that there's debt behind that.
it depends on your cash flow too. If your income is if you generate enough cash flow, you can maintain a lifestyle in
Through
which it
debt.
can help you. I mean, if you can afford like $100 payment, even though you technically pay like maybe $10,000 for a $7,000 car. I'm just giving you an example. Um, but as long as you're working or you're receiving income, it's actually not a bad deal. You know, some things you never really some things are worth it because at the end of the day, you plan on selling whatever you bought, and if the item that you bought, like for example a house, is going to be worth more or maintain its or increase its value, paying a small interest only fee for X amount, it's worth it. It does help with cash flow, but in the long run, you're right. You'll be paying more, but a house, nobody really lives in a house for 30 years. They typically will sell it, and if they're smart, they'll I guess what they call downgrade, or I guess it depends where you go. You move to another place where the house is cost of living is cheaper and the house cost is much lower. So in that sense, it works. With a car, it's a horrible idea because you'll never get your money back on that car, no matter how much money you put in it, put into it. Like you could put new engine, new rims, and all that car is worth is the Kelly Blue Book value that anybody's going to buy it for. So it doesn't really matter in that sense. But I mean, that can be useful if you understand what you're getting into. But I have to agree, a lot of people don't understand, and they end up basically working to pay off someone else's, you know. Uh,
And for an extended amount of time. They
yeah,
don't factor in the time either.
yes, and the time, and then on top of that, the inflation. Debt can be good if things are inflating, the prices, your money inflates faster. So if you're able to keep up with the inflation, that means if your job or your income keeps up with inflation, then having debt is not too bad because it could be, you know, money-wise, as a number. If your income maintains or is above inflation, and your debt remains the same, if you keep that same interest, sometimes it's an adjustable interest. But if it's a simple, fixed interest, inflation can be good only if you can keep up with, if your income can keep up with the inflation. So you're actually paying off less of the debt than you're earning. So it depends how you work it. But overall, I think it's for me it's horrible because it does keep you working, and the inflation part of it keeps you working as well. Broke.
Hey guys.
So broke forever. Yes, Brian.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to myself, and howdy, I've been fighting for parking. I'm still out here with no parking yet. But it's the problem of having a car in the city, right? So most of the people who are super rich, they didn't use their own money to get rich. They used other people's money to get rich. Right?
Not all of them. I mean, I'm sure there's many different ways to get rich.
Well, sure. But there are people who don't use their own money, who use credit and other people's monies to advance their own wealth. All I'm trying to say is there are ways to use credit to make yourself wealthy. It's not set up that way,
And that's why I'm
But
saying, yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And that's why I'm saying if a platform like BitConnect were to be something that allows people to do that, that's actually great because it's creating wealth through a platform, which if it's like that, it'll become more popular than any other platform ever.
well, Brian, can you explain some of the ways where people use other people's money? Do you have a specific or a particular way that people have
I
done
think
this?
in real estate, and different business dealings, you can get people to go in on purchasing land or starting a business of some kind and get outside capital, which
So
is a
you're talking
little
about a
different
loan,
than debt. Yeah, it could be a loan.
right? Right, and usually that loan is usually tied to some asset. If it's a business, it's usually a business with a property on it, or a home, or an
Right.
office building, and and typically that's because the value of the land will keep up with at least the interest. And so if you ever default, they can just take over the
Is there
building.
not a way to work up the credit system until you're able to get something with value?
Um, what was that?
You could work your way up the credit ladder, you know, and
You mean
have a high enough,
get more line of credit? Is that what you're talking about?
basically. And at some point, you should be able to get something that would maintain that value, which would allow you to get even greater credit and thus building your capital from there.
Well, that's the only way you can build up your credit is if you pay off your debt, and then they'll know that you can pay off a debt, and they'll give you a larger line of credit and what you could take
Hmm.
advantage of. But overall, you know, unless you know you're going to be turning something over that, or you're going to be buying something that will keep up with the actual interest or cash flow to pay off the interest or the monthly payments or however it's set up. It's a really bad idea. Like a car, bad idea. Real estate, it depends. If you're going to rent out, you can get the renter to pay off your loan, and then have the house appreciate in value. So it depends what you're doing, of course. If you're got a loan in your business, and the business generates income and cash flow, then essentially you got your customers paying the loan. So basically, you're right. In some ways, you're getting other people to pay off your loan, and that's the key thing. But at some point, these other people, you can only extract wealth from other people if they have the money. And if these other people who are working aren't keeping up with inflation, they're often the workers are the last people who get a raise to keep up with inflation. So by the time they get their money, their raise, um, they've already lost. They already lost money, and they don't even know it. And so for a person like in New York, I would imagine if it could be hard to 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 make a living there. You have to make a certain amount because of the high cost of living there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous here. I know there are some other cities, some other big urban centers who have extremely high real estate rent costs as well, but New York's up there with the best of them, or worst of them, if you will.
Right, right. Let me get back to Gbonikz here. We'll talk about BitConnect right now because recently they had an exploit, and it seems like they've lost money from what I can understand. Like people were withdrawing, and apparently they were getting double the amount of either BitConnect tokens or Bitcoin, and maybe their Bitcoin was also people who were depositing Bitcoins were also having their Bitcoin stolen. Is that something you can verify or deny since you're a BitConnect user?
No, I've just been reinvesting that $1,000. I haven't been withdrawing or buying any more BCC tokens or anything like that. Everything else that I've done behind Genesis Mining, I've just been dabbling with. So the whole Steemit thing, I only threw $1,000 in there. BitConnect, $1,000 in there. And yeah, at this point, I'm convinced that hodling is the best strategy. Hodling is just the best strategy, unless you have something that you have like data behind. It's just better to invest passively and slowly. Like if you have $100, you could put in $100 into Bitcoin every week. All the same principles that go into a savings account, but just with Bitcoin.
Okay. Well, and you know, in my experience, because I experienced the up and down of 2013 and 14, and hodling when you're in a bull market is the plan, really. You don't want to give up your Bitcoin. You don't want to reinvest your Bitcoin into another altcoin. You end up just losing your Bitcoin, and you might have made money, but you would have made more money if you just hold.
Yeah.
The problem is, you know, eventually all bull markets end, and then you have a bear market afterwards. And
This is, from what I hear, this is true, but I think Bitcoin is an exception, especially with what's happening now globally. This is turning into a big, I don't know, big wave, and it'll keep on being this wave until it reaches $1 trillion. This is like the trend is pointing to $1 trillion. So I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. That bear market. I mean, Bitcoin always has its pullbacks, but they're short. They recover quickly. Whenever there's large drops, it recovers quickly. From,
Yeah,
from
I agree with you. It's still in a bull market. There's no indication of a bear market yet. I haven't seen, but I think the bull market has run a very long course. It started, I would say, last year around November, December timeframe, maybe even August of last year, and we're already a year into this bull market. That's why I'm a little concerned. It's kind of been over. It's been going on for a long time.
I think adoption is about to take away like all doubts.
Yeah, well, that's
I,
what they were saying in
I,
2013.
I, you think so? I
Well,
mean, it
people
was.
talk about adoption when the price goes up because, you know, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's excited, but it kind of seemed it was a different story when there was a bear market and people barely talked about it. There wasn't much hype anymore. A lot of the YouTubers who were around stopped making videos. I just noticed, you know, when the price started picking up again, um, then you know, the YouTubers or people who are excited about cryptocurrencies, they start making videos and talk about it, and it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, and it just kind of grows into this hype. But you know, but right now I haven't seen any technical indications on the charts to say that we're in a bear market. But I just know it will happen. But I guess I have a time frame, and I guess you have a time frame in mind. Gbonikz, tell us why you think it would just keep on going, and what's your time frame of when this bear market will begin or when the bull market will end? Gbonikz, you're still on mute.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to a lot of economists, and basically, like, Bitcoin is on the world stage right now. They're saying around February is when it's going to start like picking up, like critical mass, like people are going to start adopting it and stuff. I already have my friends thinking, like telling me, yo, how do I put in $100? And it's, yeah, I don't see the popularity going down at all. Like this is picking up.
How about Brian? How about your thoughts? You're in the World Financial Center in New York. What's your sentiment?
There seems to be a lot of people getting into the space. The Bitcoin meetup that I go to, in particular, every month, When I first started going, there was maybe 9 of us. The last meeting, there was almost like 120 people.
Yeah.
So it's gaining a lot of popularity. And if you use like the apps like Meetup and stuff like that, you're gonna find that there's a ton more meetups going on. There's all kinds of
More and
Ethereum,
more.
Bitcoin, blockchain. The amount of meetups are just growing at a phenomenal rate. So we do look like we're in a good place for growth. You know, there's a
This
lot of
is
people who are excited and a good core group of folks in New York that seem to be excited.
this
Of course, I've only been in it since like March, so I don't know what the sentiment was like beforehand. It could be the same thing that was going on back in 2013. I don't know.
Nah, this is a snowball forming. This is like I don't think I don't think it's gonna slow down anytime soon.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Um, I I remember 2013 and 2014 around that time frame. The sentiment was about the same. That's when I don't know if anybody you watch Banking on Bitcoin. Brian mentioned that to me. I watched it on Netflix, and I remember people were very excited. I would hear reports about what's that place called in New York where they were doing live trading.
Bitcoin
On the,
Center, New York.
yeah, Bitcoin Center in New York. I mean, people were very excited. People were very elated. Euphoria. You know, the idea that you know the adoption would take over. It would take over Western Union credit cards, and it was people were overly optimistic, in my opinion. Now that I think about it, and you know, after I'll tell you when it won't make another higher high, when it doesn't make a higher high, that's when you know that we've peaked out. Now, have we reached that point? I don't know.
The difference, the difference that I feel that between back then and now is that now what's popped up into the conversation is can we use it as money? Before, what did people use Bitcoin for? Nothing. Going on Silk Road and stuff like that. It wasn't even. They weren't. Bitcoin as money didn't exist. Like people thinking Bitcoin could be money didn't exist back then. At least for normal people that have never even heard of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've been using it since 2013, and nothing's really changed. Um, People still purchase Bitcoin, and I still buy Bitcoin from someone else, and I sell my Bitcoins to someone else. In that sense, it hasn't changed at all. What I have noticed is a lot
I'm
more
talking about.
people.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about newbies. How newbies are coming in, and newbies are thinking of it as money. Like so, the new people. That's why they're so excited about it because they don't know how to think about it, but they know it's going up in value.
Right, right. Well, I did notice that there are a lot more new people, and they are unfortunately they're using this as they are using it as money. They're thinking of it as money because they could send it, receive it, and they're going, "Wow, this is great." You know, you can sell some to your friends, and they can get it right away, and maybe they'll buy a gift card, and then they'll go to Whole Foods and buy some range-free chicken or something like that. But what I've also noticed is there's a lot more people that are buying into these cryptocurrencies and other altcoins for the sole reason or sole purpose of speculation being a major thing. And also ICOs have been really popular too, and just trying to compound their gains by just reinvesting and reinvesting into other more exotic coins. That's what I've noticed a little bit different than 2013. There were only altcoins that you had to mine, so you couldn't just create a coin from nothing. You had to actually mine these coins and start a community and everything. So there was a lot of that going on, but everyone knew that it wouldn't take off because it was considered a shit coin back then. The value would just be spiked up and it would go down. Now people are really expecting some of these ICO tokens to have value, and make a real return or pay out dividends. That's what I noticed the difference from 2013 to now. I don't know if you or Brian have noticed that as well.
I was definitely not watching Bitcoin in 2013.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, neither was I.
All right. And the other thing is when I hear people talk about how their friends are now into it, that's actually a strong signal to me that we're getting close to the end.
Oh
You know,
my
because
goodness, no.
there's only so many people that you can reach out to buy your coins or get people into it. Before, it was hard to get anybody into it. Like you tell them about Bitcoin, they're like, "What is that?" And then when you tell them, they think you're playing with monopoly money. Now, if your friends are coming to you and they're very excited about getting into this space, that's a signal to me saying, okay, we reached the end because, you know, there's only so many people that they could sell to or they could get involved, you know, and to push the price up. So I hate to tell you this, but I think we're almost, I think we're almost to the end of this bull market. I think we got one more jab up, and that could be in the 5,000 for Bitcoin. I don't know about these other coins. I know Dash has really gone up. They're making all-time highs. But watch out. I would say watch for the technicals, and if they can no longer make another high, a higher high, and then they start just making a double, kind of like a double top, never reaching the recent high, but almost, but then not quite, then start going down and starts slowly sliding, making a downward triangle. That might be the beginning, a confirmed downtrend,
So,
or start of a downtrend.
so what you're telling me is you believe that Bitcoin is gonna slump and stay slumped before reaching $1 trillion?
Maybe.
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Like with the trend so far in such a short amount of time, I don't think anything. And there's big money in this. Like even though we talk about like, you know, there's possibilities that governments are getting into this. So if governments are getting into this, then you have another factor to add to the equation because now there's even bigger money going into this. Because obviously governments want Bitcoin as well as gold.
Okay,
so-
where have you heard that news?
Where have I heard that news?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even say I heard it anywhere. This is something that I thought would be obvious.
Okay, all right. I haven't heard anything like that. I don't know if governments really want to use Bitcoin. I've heard governments trying to start their own crypto coins, or usher in a friendlier cryptocurrency for them to use. But I haven't heard anybody actually mention Bitcoin in particular. But what I'm trying to say is I'm just learning from the past, and the past is something that I lived through, and I'm seeing the same things over again. And I can only say that once you reach whatever the coin is, I know they're all reaching new highs. If they can't make a new high, that's the first warning sign. It doesn't mean it's ending. It could just be consolidation and just go up higher. But what you really want to watch out for is the highest low, the recent highest low. Once it starts going down below that, and you have to take a look at a weekly or even a monthly view on a chart. Once it reaches that, then it's kind of like a confirmed first signal for a bear market. So I would watch out for that, just to save you guys some money, and then consider taking some profits. That way, when the market goes down, you got all this money that you made, and then slowly you could buy back in as the price goes down lower and get more coins for the dollar.
Hodl Bitcoin. That's what I say. Hodl Bitcoin. Don't even worry about everything else.
Well, I trade differently than you. That's the other thing that I've noticed. When I got into it, there was a lot of people who were into it to trade peer to peer. going up to meetups and trading with other people directly. Now I see more people trying to do a lot of trades on exchanges only, on speculation, and that's another warning sign for me because they're the ones that are really driving up the price. The activity that I do doesn't drive up the price at all. It doesn't even reflect the price on the exchanges at all. But I use the exchanges for price discovery.
True. Yeah, I haven't gone back to touch the exchanges. I've This year I've made some bad moves that made me realize Bitcoin. I rather be a Bitcoin maximalist, hold a couple of the other mineable coins, the strong coins like Litecoin, Dash, have NEM, and the obviously a little bit of Ripple just to have it. But yeah, just stick to the top fives and not really worry about the rest of the market. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna really worry about the rest of the market till I see something legit that maybe works and that's an actual product, and till I finish up with Genesis mining because yeah, I didn't like the way this year went, and it could have gone a whole lot better if I just kept my position. And since I already have the funds in crypto, I'd rather just keep them in crypto and let them do their thing and really just ride the wave and not worry about bear markets. If you're not moving around, you don't have to worry about bear bulls. You just let it stay there and marinate like you originally planned. You're not gonna go out, even if you get rich, you're not gonna go out and try to spend it all in one day, are you?
Well, I might. I've been I've been trading and hodling for some time, but let me ask both of you, you and Brian, since you've recently just come in. What I think you've been here for at least the beginning of the year, and Brian, you said it's around March, I think. But 4 months is really feels like a long time in cryptocurrency because a
Yeah.
lot has happened every day. There's always something happening. You all lived through a hard fork. Well, a hard fork happened. I know you missed out some of that Bcash money, but what do
Yeah,
you
that
all
was
think so
horrible.
far? I mean, what is from the beginning when you first got into now? What are your thoughts, and what has changed about you and the cryptocurrency space that you noticed?
Who goes first?
I guess you, Gbonikz.
That it's better to just treat Bitcoin as your savings account and as you would a savings account that's actually supposed to give you returns. When you see the rest of the market, yeah, it's enticing to like jump into other coins, try to get more Bitcoin, but you're never. Bitcoin is always gonna outdo all of the coins at this point. From the way it's grown since its beginning, keep on growing at this point. I think there's a lot of new people that want something like this, a new market.
Okay, so you've gone from hodling. You've gone from risking some of your bitcoins to hodling, and that's probably the best thing you're hoping for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Brian? What has your experience been?
Well, mine has been rather similar. I was very risky with my Bitcoin, just throwing them around to all types of crypto Ponzi schemes, to cloud mining, and to different things, and just wasting my Satoshis. Had I known better, like I do now, I would have just held on to them, and they would have increased in value. The money I spent on Genesis, I would have had more Bitcoin now than I will probably. I guess that's still to be determined. In the beginning, I thought to myself that it was Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. Those were my gold, silver, and copper. I still actually think that. I've got a nice little holding of Doge from when I first started. I haven't bought any more of it or traded any more Bitcoin for it. I don't trade my Bitcoin for anything now. So I guess it's the same exact lesson. Buy Bitcoin, don't let go of it. Hodl.
All right, Brian. Another thing is what about the space in general? How do you feel about the whole cryptocurrency space since you first come onto the scene?
There are so many more hucksters and fraudsters out there than I could have even imagined when I first started. And I guess it shouldn't be surprising because greed is pervasive into anything. And it's found a nice home in a crypto space with all these folks out there pointing people in the wrong direction for their own gain. I've always felt people want to do the right thing. People try to do the right thing. The problem is they don't always have the right people telling them what the right thing is. And we have a lot of people out here in the space who are telling folks the wrong thing to do.
Well, you know, another thing I've noticed is doing the right thing, unfortunately, doesn't make anybody a lot of money. So that's the other problem. And I think when you're in this space long enough, you realize quick that doing something boring and doing the right thing is not very exciting. And unfortunately, it's something I guess a lot of people just has to be. It just has to be taught and learned either through other people or through mistakes, your own mistakes.
It's a big world. It's a big world in the crypto space.
Yeah. What are your how do you feel now about the crypto space now that from when you started to now? Has there been any changes for you and how your perception?
I just feel like people need to understand the importance of Bitcoin, because most of this is the crypto space is like, yeah, it's good to have other coins that solve the problems, but the thing is, we are aiming for a good storage of value. If we lose that, then that kind of destroys the concept of Bitcoin. So if people aren't trying to keep Bitcoin alive, then they should focus on the importance of it. And yeah, I mean, the whole supply that we have right now of Bitcoin, everything else is priced in Bitcoin, but it's separate from Bitcoin. So the way I look at it is that basically Bitcoin is being diluted slowly.
You mean through the other coins?
Yeah, well, through the whole entire market. I mean, its dominance is at 45. And if that keeps on going, then it'll get diluted. So this whole 16 million thing, kind of out the window if it gets diluted too much.
Are you talking about the hard fork, or are you talking about like just altcoins coming into the market and ICO tokens?
Yeah, I'm talking about the altcoins.
Okay. Well, you know, my opinion about the altcoins is their sole purpose is literally to take your Bitcoins from you. Because a lot of these people, they start creating altcoins through either mining or insta mining or through a Genesis block. They just create all the coins at once, and then what they're doing is they're trying to sell them to you and me and everybody in the whole world for your Bitcoin. And the hucksters and the scammers and the fraudsters, they're almost like the banksters in a lot of ways. You know, these people that come into the market, they become like a bankster. They're literally giving you nothing for something that is probably worth more than you would ever thought in your imagination. And that's the whole altcoin market is for you to give up your Bitcoin for the coin that they've created out of nothing. And that's my experience with it that I've seen. And so everyone's like making or getting into these altcoins. That's the other thing you should watch out for, Gbonikz, is I've had you on the show about Genesis mining. I've kind of warned you about that a little bit. I'm not very fond of other platforms like Steemit or BitConnect. And then the last thing I want to warn you about, and all the audience, if they're listening, is watch out for the pump and dumps or for the altcoin market. Not that there's anything wrong. You know, if people really believe in their coin and what they're doing, it should go up on its own by its own merit. But the market is so diluted, and the only reason why these altcoins exist, so literally people tell me, is to get more Bitcoin. So you're gambling again. You're giving up your Bitcoin to hopefully trade with these altcoins against other people who are going to give up their Bitcoin. And what you're really trying to do is take their Bitcoins from them. So you're going to compete with other people against their Bitcoins with this altcoin that you got, and you're hoping to make it out of the exchanges with more Bitcoin than you came in with. And you got to be careful because it's also deceptive because it's priced. You should look at, when you trade an altcoin, you should definitely trade against Bitcoin pair. And so you got to watch out. I'll give you an example. I know Litecoin recently has gone up in price, which seems really good, right? But if you look at the pair of Bitcoin to Litecoin, if you traded Bitcoin for that, unfortunately, you might have made out. You might have if you bought at the bottom. But if you look at the overall trend, it's still in a downtrend. But if you bought Litecoin with your money, your cash, you made out better on the deal. You've made more money, and so I would recommend try to stick with the pairs that are U.S. dollar against Ethereum, U.S. dollar against Litecoin, U.S. dollar against Bitcoin. And if you're going to get into it, give up your cash. But once you get into these coins, don't give up these coins for other altcoins, because you're basically competing against other people for their coins, and you're hoping to leave the exchange with more coins than you came in with.
Yeah, yeah. Trading is tricky. I wouldn't advise it either.
Excellent. And I guess we're getting to an hour. I just wanted to recap as you as a guest, and I noticed from watching your videos, you definitely had a different change of perspective, and I'm assuming you're very more cautious now, and I hopefully you'll stay that way, because we don't want to make the wrong people rich, and then they perpetuate and keep doing the wrong things. We want to make the right people rich, and hopefully the right people will, get other people involved that will cause more adoption rates. Not get, I don't want newbies getting burned or holding a bag. So Brian, I'll let you go on this first. Do you have any advice for any of the viewers out there from your experience from being in this space?
Well, if you're brand new, I would say take it easy. Don't run out there and start investing in different programs or try your hand at trading and this and that. Just buy yourself some Bitcoin and hold on to it. Set up a little regimen where you buy a certain amount of Bitcoin every week, some money that you can afford to never have again in your life, because that's what you do with investments, right?
It's not. I would say it's almost like a savings account. I wouldn't. I really think Bitcoin is just going to keep on going up throughout the years.
Well,
it's getting harder. It's getting harder to mine. It's taking more energy to produce it. The trend is up. I think it'll continue to be up.
Well, it has great potential, and the prices could go up even further. You're right. It also has the potential to go down as well. It can go to infinity, and it can go to zero. Those are both possibilities. So even with the most secure, best investment in the world, you still don't invest money that you can't afford to lose, right? You should never do that, because we all know, yeah, Bitcoin is going to go great. But if something were to happen and people lost money in their ventures, it shouldn't be anything that's gonna, you know, cause them to not be able to live. You shouldn't be buying Litecoin instead of buying bread and milk for your house, is what I mean.
Yeah.
It's your mad money. It's the little bit of savings you put away. Like you said, it's a savings account. But get your little bit of Bitcoin, buy it, buy it. I like what you had to say, James, because there are a couple of coins that have USD pairings through Coinbase, Ethereum, and Litecoin. If you eventually want to get into those, James is absolutely right. Don't get rid of your Bitcoin to do it. Put your money into it. Spend a little money, buy those coins. If you think they're going to go up, do that. But don't ever get rid of your Bitcoin.
Good advice, Brian, and thanks for that. And how about you, Gbonikz? Any advice to the new users that you have?
Yeah. They definitely need to buy cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are they're not the future of finance, but they definitely are part of it. So, and they're not going away. So yeah, in the next few years, all these cryptocurrencies should go up in value. As what I've seen with this past year, I know you say that it could probably go down and the bear market could hit us, but I don't see that happening anytime soon for years to come.
Okay, you know the reason I also say you may start seeing a downtrend or the beginning around November. It also coincides with the SegWit 2x hard fork, and since there's no replay protection, I think a lot of people are going to get scared, and they may start cashing out because if there's no replay protection, and if you send your Bitcoin, you may actually lose one or the other to somebody else when you send it to someone. Now you may not get it back. You see what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of people will be averse to that kind of risk, and will probably try to go to the exchanges or Coinbase or wherever, or sell peer to peer, and try to dump that liability off to the exchanges, to another person, to Coinbase, and then wait until that happens. Wait until after everything settles down into which chain prevails, so to speak, and then they may go back in at a later time. But by the time that happens, I think the price would scare enough people to the point where they'll back off. And also, it's another thing about trading is, once the event happens, you got to keep in mind the trading aspect has nothing to do with the fundamentals. Bitcoin's stronger and better than ever, and you're right, you should just buy and hold. But unfortunately, people will look at the price, and it's a psychological aspect of trading and a social issue. So once people start seeing the price falling, their confidence kind of loses. They lose their confidence in the price, and then they'll start selling. But there's a good news: if there is a downtrend, that is the best time to buy. I know it hurts for people who are getting in, but trust me, the best time to buy Bitcoin is when the prices are going down. And if you could recognize a downtrend or a bear market, take advantage of it. Because and I lived through that, and I did take advantage of it. When I first started, I wanted 5 Bitcoins. That's when Bitcoin was about $1,000. I wanted 5 Bitcoins. Now I have more than 5 Bitcoins because I was participating in the market. I wasn't trying to beat the market. So the longer you're in it, the more you'll make. It's my
Yeah,
advice.
people, if you think of it, if you split it into little segments, it's a better way to just buy Bitcoin. Like, instead of buying a pack of cigarettes, you buy some Bitcoin. Like, I think buying on the ups and downs are both smart moves, at least as far as Bitcoin goes.
All right. Yes, that's a good advice. And so, if nobody has any other questions or anything else they want to say, Brian, did you want to say anything or have any questions for Gbonikz?
Well, actually, I want to go back to earlier when we were talking about the dilution of Bitcoin because of the altcoin markets, and in particular, the market cap and the market dominance of Bitcoin. Um, ever since people started talking about the flippening and the possibility of Ethereum overtaking Bitcoin on the top of the market cap, I thought about it. I was like, it doesn't really matter what your market cap is because that's the amount of coins times the current value of a coin. And if you have like 6.5 times more coins than Bitcoin does, it's likely you're eventually going to beat it out. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's got the best market or highest market cap at all. It's about viability of the chain, how long it's been around, what
Infrastructure.
somebody's willing to pay. Yeah, yeah. So I worry about the market cap or the market dominance.
At this point, I'm not sure if there's any other coin that has Bitcoin's type of infrastructure. I was watching another podcast about this with, I think it was Andy Hoffman or something, and he was talking about the infrastructure of Bitcoin. No other coin has an infrastructure which has fungibility like Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's no peer-to-peer market for Litecoin or Ethereum.
Yeah, there isn't. I don't think.
Yeah, the other thing you all have to remember is the exchange prices. It's not very reflective. That's just what someone bought 1 or 100 coins or 1,000, depending on the coin, or 1,000,000 coins at that particular time. It doesn't reflect all the coins being worth that value. So I know Bitcoin is worth about 4,400. That's just for whatever. If you look on the order book, that's just the fraction of a coin, maybe one coin. Sometimes you'll see 10 coins being sold around that price. That's not for all the coin. So if everybody took their coin and sold it on that exchange or on the exchanges, it would go down in value. So as far as the market cap, it's not real. There is just that one price times X amount of coins, and that's the potential market cap. But if in reality, if everyone ran to the exchanges, or it would be a bank run essentially. At the end of the day, there's really not enough money there on those exchanges to really pay out to people. So a lot of people would be left holding a lot of tokens if that happened. So I think that's a little misdeceptive, or a lot of people don't understand that. And as for the coin market cap, which everyone looks at, when I started, there were not that many coins. There were maybe 100 coins, altcoins. Now there's over, I think, about 1,000 different coins, cryptocurrencies, and tokens that are on that. And so the more coins you add, of course, the Bitcoin dominance is going to shrink. And so that's, I think a lot of people have overplay that number way too much. But you're right on both of you guys. The infrastructure, it's not there. Every app out there, or almost every app, every website, everything that's being done for cryptocurrency is done for Bitcoin. Now maybe there's some Ethereum, not that much in my opinion. Maybe some Litecoin, but other than that, it's dominated by Bitcoin.
No Ethereum has been used for smart contracts.
Other than selling tokens.
Yeah. So basically, nothing else works as money, and the fees haven't gone down yet. So I'm still waiting on those fees to go down.
For what, Bitcoin or
yeah,
or
the only coin that can actually be used as money through a credit card like BitPay or Shift. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, cryptocurrencies don't have a use besides Bitcoin.
You can shift your Litecoin and Ethereum too, I believe.
Yeah, they go through Coinbase.
Yeah.
With Shift?
Yeah, I believe the Shift card is a Coinbase product that's offered by Coinbase. And so if you have an account with Coinbase, you should be able to use your credit card, the Shift card. But the problem is, I've seen other YouTubers on it. They charge you a fee for having it. They charge you a fee if you don't use it. The only time I've ever seen a credit card with so many fees and charges is like a third or fourth tier credit card issuer offering you that card. So basically, it's for people who have like very bad or no credit. That's why they get charged a lot, and or or what I would call people who are trying to launder their illegal gains through a bit like a shady banking system that offers these credit cards because they know it's high risk. So I wouldn't recommend Shift Card at all. I mean, if anything, if you wanted to use your Bitcoin, go ahead and just use it, or just sell it for cash and use your normal credit card where you're offered it for free and you're not charged.
I say use it peer to peer and just trade it up by the wallet. Whenever somebody asks me how I could spend it, I just say tell whoever you're trying to spend it with to download the app. Download a Jack's wallet or Coin. What was that other one?
What, Coinami?
Coinami.
The one I use?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Coinami.
lot. There's Mycelium, Jax, Coinami, Samurai Wallet, Bread Wallet. There's many. It's hard to find peer-to-peer because if you're going to a grocery store, you can't quite, offer anyone your Bitcoins just yet. You have to use a gift card or somewhat. What I do is I just sell my Bitcoin for cash. And yes, I do sell my Bitcoins for cash. I have a one stash for my Bitcoins that I'm basically never going to sell. And I have another stash or another paper wallet in which I trade Bitcoins peer-to-peer. And so whenever I empty this paper wallet, that's when I get the money and just go buy more. And it doesn't matter what the price is. If it's high, if it's low, I'm always, making money. When the price goes up, I make money, right? When I sell my Bitcoins, I'm making money. Unfortunately, when I go buy back in, I get less Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter because I know I'm going to be selling them again. And I'm just making money because the price is going up. When the price goes down, it's a different story. I'm making Bitcoins. And so, like I said, I participate in the market. I don't try to beat the market. So when I sell my Bitcoins, even though I'm selling them at a lower price, I'm rebuying in. And because the price is continually going down, when I buy back in, I'm getting more Bitcoins than I did before. Now, it's hard to live that way because I need cash, but you still can eke out a meager living. But the great thing is you're going to get a ton of Bitcoins at a lower price, and you just keep doing it over and over again until it flattens, the price flattens out. And when it starts going back up, just hold on to your Bitcoins. Don't be so eager to sell so much. Or if you do, it doesn't matter because the price moves up faster than you can sell it. So by then you're making money when the price goes up. So don't fight the market. Be a part of the market, okay, and participate in it. You're going to make money or you're going to make Bitcoins.
Yep.
All right, I think we talked long enough. Gbonikz, it was a pleasure having you back. I have your link in the notes section. Have you? How are you doing on your Steemit and all your other adventures?
I mean, I kind of stopped on the Steam. I stepped away from making any moves because after doing some math, I was really disappointed, and basically, it just kind of had me step away. But yeah, I'm still watching the markets. Trying to learn every day about the blockchain. Now I'm gonna try to do this rig. I'm gonna try to do the 5 GPUs and see if I mine. I'm not sure what to mine yet. Probably. I'm looking at Nexus.
Okay, yeah, you're mining. Tell us about that before we end this live stream. Tell us about your mining. Now you've gone from all this other stuff. Now you're actually mining with your miners and GPUs.
No, I haven't. I just got the stuff. It's right here. I have a I got everything on Amazon for a 5 GPU mining rig. I just got to build it and then figure out how I'm going to use the software to start mining.
Right. Okay. Okay. This is the advice that I give to people who are mining. If you see my last episode, that Jared, he helps people. If you're willing to pay him, he will manage all that for you, and you just pay him a fee. It's similar to cloud mining, but it's not. It's for people who want to actually mine and own the mining rigs and get paid out all the time, you know, instead of like Genesis mining. But what he does is he manages it for you, and you just give him a fee for that, or he takes care of it for you. But you own the mining rig, and you're getting the payouts go directly to your wallet. So that might be something you might want to consider if you're not, you know, if you don't want to deal with the hassles with it. But
oh no, that's the whole thing. I want to deal with the hassle of it. I want to see what it is like to mine my own cryptocurrency. Here, I did it. I built it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what my aim was since the beginning. I didn't.
All right.
I didn't.
All right. Good for you.
Yeah. I didn't get into Genesis mining thinking, oh, no, I'm a lazy fuck. Let me just, you know, forget about mining. I didn't see it as a feasible thing that can be accomplished here at my crib.
Now you're in Florida. I would recommend go to a meetup. Try to see.
I did.
Miner. Oh, you did? Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Yes, I went to a meetup. I mean, it was more like the technical side. The presentation was about how Bitcoin transactions go through and how the pub key knocks out the pub key hash and like stuff like that, like things that kind of went over my head. But yeah, it was good. There was a guy who came in. He was promoting a coin from Spain or Crow something, that they were coming out with a new coin. So boom, another another ICO over there. But yeah.
Right.
The meeting supposedly had grown in numbers, so it's like this dude said, a lot of people are going everywhere.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you had a chance to go to a meetup. I recommend every new user go to a meetup and try to talk to other people and ask them about their experience before you make your moves. My advice for people who are mining, I've never mined. And there's kind of reasons for that. I just think it's easier just to buy the coins myself. But if you do want to mine, ironically, the best time to mine is when you're mining at a loss. Ironically, you're going to get cheaper coins that way. Although right now, mining at a loss doesn't mean you won't be profitable. It just if you do mine at a loss, it means at that point in time, you're not mining at a profit. But just to give you an idea, if you were like just 2 years ago, if you were mining Ethereum, and most people probably weren't mining at a profit, but they were getting 5 Ethereum every day, you would be extremely rich by now. Yeah. So don't get caught up in how much money or profit you're making now on mining.
My bad to cut you off. That's why I'm looking at Nexus, because Nexus looks like a good low coin with a low circulating supply. In the future, might do big things.
Yes, and the other one I wanted to say is you can possibly dual mine a lot of coins.
Oh yeah, I did read about that.
Yeah, so you could be mining one coin, then mine like 2 or 3 other coins at the same time. So maximize the coin that you can get. But good for you. I hope you learn a lot and have fun. And I encourage everyone to also go to a meetup and do some mining. And no matter what, please, you know, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna mine, do it for a 5-year term. Think of it as a 5-year kind of investment, because if everyone was mining altcoins back in 2015 to 16, you would all be super duper rich.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people who did mine, they just dumped it, you know, or they stopped mining.
Yeah, because some of these coins have, oh my God, prices in the beginning of this year were compared to now. It's like, oh my God. You look at so many different ways you could have invested. It's pretty crazy.
Right, right. Well, hopefully everything will work out for you, and I look forward to our next conversation. It was good talking to you, Gbonikz. Let everyone know where they could find you. Your Steam it. Let them know your Steam it, your Twitter, any email you want to provide.
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly Gbonikz, Gbonikz, and yeah, it's a spinoff from Ebonics and my initials. So yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and I just share my experiences with crypto, and I'm gonna see if I start making some like better videos and like start showing YouTube some love and like trying to do stuff on it. Share some knowledge if I get some, cover some news and stuff.
All right, thank you. And of course, Brian, any last ending words from you? Brian's my producer. If you want to be on this show or pay me or Brian a lot of money, please contact Brian. He'll do it. He'll negotiate a deal.
That's exactly what I was going to tell the folks.
Okay. Excellent. So this concludes this episode. Feel free to like this video or dislike it. Share it. That helps as well. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned. Bye-bye.